So, Andrew, when is everybody going to get their HQL fees refunded?
Not going to happen.
I'm Duane Urban, and welcome to the Urban Defense Podcast, featuring discussion on firearms, concealed carry, self-defense, the law, and much more. Designed to inform, educate, and increase your survival in a critical incident. With your hosts, Duane Urban and Andrew Saller. Welcome to the Urban Defense Podcast, and in this abbreviated episode, we're going to be discussing some litigation regarding Maryland cases. First up, HQL. Andrew.
Duane, not looking good, not looking good. Everyone remembers when Maryland shall issue versus Moore came out a little while ago. HQL, unconstitutional, the Fourth Circuit said, and the celebrations commenced. Since then, it's been nothing but bad breaks. The government asked for an en banc hearing, meaning all members of the Fourth Circuit sat down and heard the challenge to the HQL.
I thought that was a French delicacy.
So the Fourth Circuit, sitting en banc, 14-2, said the HQL was constitutional. Not good. So our wonderful litigants at Maryland shall issue took it and filed a petition for certiorari to the United States Supreme Court. And just recently, the Supreme Court said, no, thank you. So they did not accept the case. So effectively, absent the Supreme Court ruling with a different case, this is over. The state pointed out that, everyone is very familiar with the recent Second Amendment litigations and the right to carry and how we got to where we are. In that case, the conservative justices pointed out that licensing requirements would still be constitutional, and the Fourth Circuit en banc's decision that this was merely a licensing requirement that was appropriate and historically acceptable is going to stand. So the people that were celebrating in the streets, talking about let's file a class action against the state to get our licensing fees back, our training fees, etc., is all for naught. Do I like it? No, but this is how it is.
So it's pretty much done absent the Supreme Court being involved.
And the Supreme Court said we're not getting involved. So unless they rule in a comparable case in the future that the HQL was unconstitutional, it's over. HQL is here to stay.
So if you were putting off renewing your HQL, well, don't put it off. You're going to need to do it.
Correct. It is here to stay. So if you were waiting, if you didn't want to take the class because you weren't exempt and you were counting on the Supreme Court saving you, what's an HQL? I don't even know what it costs now.
So the HQL class fee varies. We do offer that training. Contact us if you want the price. State police charges a $50 fee as a matter of statute for you to apply.
So our viewers that were trying to save $50 and counting on the Supreme Court to make it happen, it unfortunately ain't going to happen. So, and I know mine, I've got a little bit of time left, but I'm going to have to renew. So renew.
Yeah, and the renewal process, there is no fingerprinting required. There is no additional training required. You simply go into the portal and you go into HQL and you simply renew and pay the $20 renewal fee.
Those of our viewers, $20 is $20. I appreciate it. The Supreme Court is not going to save you. You're going to have to pay that as well.
All right. And so then the second one that we wanted to talk about is the Maryland assault weapon ban litigation. Andrew, any update on that?
So this case is Snope versus Brown. Mr. Snope is a Maryland resident. If we are mispronouncing your name, please let us know. If you want to come on the program and explain it, we'd be more than happy to have you. This case is pending before the Supreme Court in the sense of we have petitioned, Mr. Snope and a number of people have petitioned for certiorari, and the Supreme Court has not ruled one way or another whether or not they are going to accept the case and let it get to the next level. A number of people have filed in support of overturning the assault weapons ban, from the National Rifle Association to the Second Amendment Law Center, the National Shooting Sports Foundation, a whole bunch of them. Knife Rights Incorporated. I'm unfamiliar with that group, but they're out here too. The Association of New Jersey Rifle and Pistol Clubs, the National Association for Gun Rights, good old Gun Owners of America. They have all come out in support of us here in Maryland in the Second Amendment. This would, it challenges the 2013 comprehensive assault weapons ban here in Maryland. You know, you can't get your FAL anymore here in Maryland, or Barrett 50 calibers, and it's a long list I'm sure everyone is familiar with, your AK-47s, AK-74s, etc.
Non-H-bar AR-15s.
Yes, all of those. So the Fourth Circuit, I don't like it, but it is what it is, ruled that the assault weapons ban here in Maryland was appropriate, that these were military weapons not suitable for common civilian use, despite the fact the AR-15 is one of the most widely held civilian firearms in America. Facts be damned in regards to that. They said the ban is appropriate and constitutional. Now it is up to, will the Supreme Court accept this case and then rule in our favor, hopefully. So we are all patiently waiting. Keep checking. They've delayed several times their decision of whether or not they're going to take it. The Supreme Court justices meet once a week, and they have, hundreds, if not thousands, of cases of people who want to have their cases heard by the Supreme Court. As a lawyer, all the time, I hear clients say, let's take it all the way to the Supreme Court. And I go, buddy, it ain't easy. So every week they have these judicial conferences during the term, and it's called the Rule of Four, meaning 4 Supreme Court justices have to agree to take the case. Historically, I would not say this is one of them, but don't assume just because you can find 4 justices to take it that they're going to rule in your favor. Often, historically, they will take it to rule against you in cases too. But at this juncture, particularly with the status of where Second Amendment litigation is, generally, it is very favorable if you can get it before the courts. There have been the Supreme Court. There have been a few people who have been disappointed by them in a couple areas, but in general, since Bruin, it has been fantastic with getting appropriate conservative justices to review these myriad of state infringements on the Second Amendment.
So stay tuned.
Absolutely. And this goes to show, they don't make it easy, meaning the government does not make it easy to own a firearm, particularly in the state of Maryland. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You need to keep up on these things, because it may come, hopefully, if the Supreme Court does take it and it is overturned, the legislature is not going to just take that laying down. So if there is a period in time where you can finally get your AK-47s before an excise tax is imposed on them, it may be the time to buy as many as you can, because who knows when you can get them again.
So nationally, we've had a lot of successes. Maryland cases, not so much. Remember, there's a lot of good pro-Second Amendment organizations that are in support of this particular case, but in cases every single day across the country. So if you have the mind and the means to do so, please support those organizations. Obviously, vet them, but support them. Remember, knowledge is mental ammunition, and train, fight, and win.